friends, thanks for hanging out with me today. I know it's been a while since I've done a long form video. I have moved, as you can see behind me. I have quite a few things that are everywhere. But over here, this is all of my eBay stuff that some of it's listed, some of it's not. And in the duration of the move, I haven't stopped uh, thrifting and yard saling, or sourcing, as a little more professional resellers call it. So I have still been picking things up, and I've done a few shorts, but I wanted to kind of go a little more in depth with a few of the items I've picked up recently, and try to get myself back on track with making videos. So let's get started. Found a Disney sing-along song VHS. I do have a few listed on eBay right now. However, there hasn't been, there's been watchers, but obviously I haven't sold it yet. And I don't know if it's because of the ones that I have listed, or if it's maybe the way that I have it listed. I'm not sure, but I do know that they will sell. So I have a feeling it's something that I'm doing, as far as, it's got to be the pricing, or it's got to be the way that I've got them set up. I'm not sure. But I did find another Disney sing-along, and this one cost me, this was from Volunteers of America, and this was 70 cents for their VHS tape. My mom has been doing eBay for 20 some years, a long time, and she started talking about how she had been looking for ties. And the guy, Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead, he does ties. And so I've been, trying to keep an eye out for weird ones, and whatever I can find. But I found this one. This is a Ryan Seacrest tie. It looks like it's from the Distinction line. Pink with looks like some sort of geometrical um, diamond and triangle shape. I didn't see that these were going for much unless they were new. And I do have other ties that I've found. I did find a Jerry Garcia tie. Well, of course I can't find it now. It's so annoying. But that's part of the frustration I've been having within the last. That's been part of the frustration. Is I not only had to move, the household, also had all of my eBay stuff. So it's like I also had to move a store. It's been hectic, but we're making it through. But I did also find a Tommy Hilfiger tie. Some geometric shapes again. And this one isn't going for much. But I did see lots of ties that were decent ones, but they wouldn't go on their own. So I figured what I could do, because I've got that Jerry Garcia one, I will find it. And these, Ryan Seacrest, Tommy Hilfiger, and I feel like, oh, you know what I did see was an airline tie. Now, there was a hole in the tie, so I ended up tossing it because I couldn't do anything with it. But airline ties do go. I think there was one that I saw was American Airlines. So, oh, and also stewardess hats sell for really good money if you find them. There was one I saw from like the 70s, just like a little orange pillbox stewardess hat, and it went for quite a bit of money on eBay. I don't even want to give you a figure because I can't remember exactly the figure, but I remember being quite impressed with the amount. So I haven't made any sales on ties at this point. I'm still kind of playing around with it, and so I'll kind of keep you guys posted as far as what ends up happening. What ends up happening with them, but I don't know if it's going to be something that I keep an eye on, or that I keep looking for. I know that any place I do go thrifting, they always have ties though, so it's hard not to go ahead and take a look and see what they have. especially when some of them do look really nice. So I don't know. And I've also seen curtains made out of ties and skirts made out of ties. I mean, people can do other things. So, maybe there's like a market for cool looking ties that people can use for crafting. Because I know you can do the same thing with doilies and put, I think they put cut up or I don't know if they put cut up or crafting, but I can't remember exactly the keyword now. But I do know that, but that people will put like scraps of fabric, specifically for crafters to go and look for. So that might be something to look into as well. I don't really know the age of the demographics that view my videos, but I will say this is Joe Camel, and I was born in 1985. So for me, I remember commercials being on TV and in magazines for cigarettes and tobacco products, and they slowly phased that out to where they could no longer advertise that way. Uh, but when I see merchandise for cigarettes, I tend to it makes me pay attention, and so I picked it up. So there, I did find a sold listing of these mugs. There were 5 of them. It sold for $21. I paid $1.21 for this at Volunteers of America. There are also mugs that are blue, like a royal blue kind of color, that sell for about the same amount. So they aren't big money, but if you happen to come across them at a yard sale or you find a few of them together at the thrift store, worth getting. I'm probably going to hang on to this until I have a few other Joe Camel items that I can put together in a lot. Picked this up from a yard sale. It was fill a grocery bag for $2. And this has all of the stickers on it, and I have checked the inside, and it says official on-field cap, and it's also got the sticker underneath. I don't see any stains. I don't see any like sweat marks, because that is something to look for. And I did ask on one of the last night was the reseller podcast with Nurse Flipper that I like to watch, and I had asked, hey, when would you list this as new? Because I mean, all the stickers and stuff are there. There's no hanging tag, but I mean, it's been around a minute, and I do need to take a lint roller to it. But it looks really good, and I think that the best advice that really all of them gave was err on the side of caution. So I would list it as pre-owned, and just put excellent condition. Once it's cleaned up correctly. And again, there's no stains or anything in it. So what I'm going to end up doing is making sure that I photograph what I'm doing with this thing. I'm going to make sure that I photograph the inside just to be sure that uh, folks can see that, how nice it is on here, because I would think, now to be fair, I haven't really sold any hats. I actually have a mannequin mannequin head I need to clean up so I can use that to list these. But yeah, it's a $59.50 hat, and it says New Era. It just looked in such good condition, and for what it is, I'm from Michigan, so obviously I had to get Detroit. And I looked up some listings for it. I want to say it was about $15 for these pre-owned. And again, I mean, people wear hats with the sticker still on them, so I wouldn't feel justified saying that this was new. If it had the hanging tag on it, because you know how sometimes they have that up here, that would be a different story. Because I got to say, if I saw someone with the hanging, like, I already judge people leaving the stickers on their hats, but if you left the hanging tag as well, I'd really judge you. So these are called fruity, or no, what are they? No, these are called Cutito Frutitos, and a couple of videos ago I had talked about them as well, because I found one of the little blankets. It looked like a burrito, so I initially thought, oh, it's for cleaning your glasses with, but there's little Velcro on it. And these little guys, and you can see there are 2 different sizes, but these little guys fit inside the blanket. fit inside the blanket. I got another little guy. And I feel like I have even a couple more that I also got out of free bins. So I'm going to do a lot on eBay of Cutito Frutitos. Because I put the tortilla blanket one up and haven't really got any interest in it. Because I was like, oh, it's funny. Maybe that's something people are actually looking for on its own. But it doesn't appear to be. So with having a few other items that are related to it, I figure, okay, well, I'll take that down and I'll put these up together in a lot and see if I get any more interest out of it. Another Cutito Frutito, forgot about this guy, found in there as well. He's got, oh no, I think those are red peppers on him. At first, I wasn't sure who this was. I found this. This was in a bag of toys. You know how the thrift stores will take small items, put them in a bag, and then sell them together. Well, this was in with a few other things that I wanted to get, so I wasn't even sure what this was. It took me a minute to realize this is Splinter, Master Splinter, for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I do have a few other turtles that I've gotten in other bins, so we'll keep them for that. But it took me a minute to realize who the heck this was supposed to be. Usually, if you look at the bottom or even on the back, it should tell you. I cannot read it. I'm getting old apparently, but I have my handy dandy magnifying glass, so we'll see what the back says. The back says 2014 Viacom, and I just wanted to see if it said the TMNT or anything like that. So surprisingly, it does not say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles anywhere on it, but it's got to be Master Splinter because I mean, what else would it looks it's a guy with his hands wrapped for a fight. I don't know. But anyway, normally when you get toys and you're not sure who it is, you should be able to look it up on you should be able to look on the bottom or the back to see, if it's marked in any way. But we can also use Google Lens. So let's do that. Google Lens, and then we're going to take a picture of our toy. And then boop. And then it says, well, you probably can't see that very well. I'm going to take a screenshot of it and I'll kind of show you up here. Let's see. The image shows a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles half-shell heroes Splinter action figure. So yeah, so I mean, Google Lens is just that easy though. You just open Google, you click that weird little camera symbol in the corner and it shows you that fast. Now, if I was in the store and was guessing like, what is this? It would be so fast just to take a picture of it in the store. So you would know not to spend a bunch of money on something, or whether, yes, it's worth spending that money on. I feel like I just kind of went on a tangent, but yeah, I found Master Splinter. So this is something that I found really neat and odd. These are poker chips. And it looks like they are from, like, this is Circus Casino. Let's see, this is Riviera, uh, Atlantis, Diamond Princess. This one from the Dunes is a $25 one. But yeah, they're all from different casinos or gambling halls. And I don't know, what are the rules on chips like this? I mean, am I okay to sell them on eBay? I don't even know. But it was $2.22. Um, the orange was 75% off that day. So I paid $2.22 for this item. And I just don't know enough. But I thought the display was really neat. They've made it so where like you put a pencil or something underneath and push out the chip. I did tip it over, trying to look at the back, and like all of the chips fell out. That was my fault. So they're not glued in or anything like that either. They can be taken out. But yeah, I thought that was really cool though, and a really neat way to display these. I know my husband has a chip from when he was gambling up at the casino, and then he was also doing charity gambling events. So But that's what made me look at it. I was like, those are poker chips. That's weird. And then I showed my mother-in-law and she goes, oh, those are Pog Slammers. Which she's not wrong. They definitely look like it. My mother-in-law found this guy. This tricks are for kids. Which, is he Tricks the Bunny? Or does he have a different name? I'm not sure. I don't think he's really going for anything on eBay, but I do have a Tony the Tiger plush. And so I was like, okay, well, why don't I get a few more breakfast cereal plushies? I think my mom found a Toucan Sam the other day. But having the collection seems to gain more interest that way. So we'll put Tricks with Tony the Tiger. It's a cup that says cats. And it's got little drawings all over it. I just thought it was super cute, and I really just can't decide if I want to keep it for myself or send it to my aunt in Arizona. She is really into cats, and I've been sending her pictures of Sylvie and the other cats, but mostly Sylvie. Doing super cute things, and she'll send ones back to me of her cat. So, but I thought this was a really cool looking cup. When I first started doing videos, I had found a Cabbage Patch doll that was in a tiger outfit. I had seen that they did sell individually, but I didn't really get um, any response from the one that I had up. And again, I just think it's because, people like a deal and they want to see more of, if you're going to get on eBay and look for something, you're probably looking more for a collection unless there's that one specific one that you want to replace or fill in, and then I have to wait for that guy or gal or whoever to come on by. So figure I'll just keep looking and picking these up as I see them so I can eventually lot them together and sell them. I paid $1.21 for this one, which I did keep the tag on here, but I think that I paid $1.71 for the other that I had. So it just kind of depends on who's pricing that day. So I know that this is just a bag of jewelry from what you can tell. But, oh, there are 14 pairs of clip-on earrings, clip-on and screwback earrings. I saw that lots were selling for vintage ones, and I guess my head didn't even think, like, obviously there are some people who don't get their ears pierced for personal reasons, religious reasons. Maybe they just are scared of needles or they just don't want it. So I don't know, but my head didn't even think, like, obviously they still make clip-on earrings. So I checked, and these are vintage ones. So so yeah, they are screwback and they are clip-ons, and I mean the lots sell. Again, I mean, it depends on how many you have and what quality, and none of these are real gems. If there were real gemstones in here, completely different story. So this is more like costume jewelry, I think is the key word that they really use. A little pin, and for whatever reason my head said that was a baseball team, and it is. Pittsburgh Pirates, I believe, is what it is. And so I have this listed, but there are other pins to look out for. I don't know enough about pins, but the fact I felt really proud the fact that I recognized that's got to be an MLB baseball team. So yeah, a little tiny pin and a Bugs Bunny 50th anniversary Looney Tunes pin. I think it's going to be one of those things, even with the baseball pin, that, I mean, they're going to go better in a lot, especially with how small they are. My husband does apartment maintenance, and they have to clean out apartments after someone moves out. So if there's any trash left or any, household items that got left, they throw them away. Well, if there's something there that we can use, then he, brings it home. So anyway, found this WWE, I don't know if it's WWE, WrestleMania ring, and it's springy. I did look this up. Looks like they're selling for about $15 used. And out of a free toy haul, I found this. I think this is Vince McMahon, and the thing is, the microphone says WWF, and this says WrestleMania. Now, I don't know if they're the same thing. Um, And like down, this just says WW on it, so I don't know, but I'm like, can I put them together and sell them together? Because look at this. Huh? That's pretty good, right? Anyway, I'm excited. I thought that was neat. Now, I think all I need is, I'd like to find some other wrestling figures to kind of put with it just because I think that would make for a better listing. And so I have been, which even before this, I've been keeping an eye out for wrestling figures because I know that they can go for some really good money. Um, and if I find them, then heck yeah. Now, I don't know a lot of wrestlers, although I remember the Big Show with his one shoulder black ensemble. Mick Foley, I feel like is another one, and then is that the guy with the bat with the spikes? Anyway, wrestling toys. I Spy. I used to love these books. I don't. You can still find them, and I actually saw a thing about how they created these and how they made not these in particular, but how they made the I Spy books. And I guess I didn't realize that they physically put these together and took pictures of them. That wasn't like a. It wasn't. It was amazing how they put them together. It wasn't like a computer generated clip art thing. Like they actually physically took toys and put them together to create this diorama and take pictures of. But found these games, I Spy Dig In and I Spy Bingo, neither of which, because these aren't new, so neither of which seems to be going for, I mean, maybe $8 or so, but I figure I'll put them together and maybe sell them for 20 together, see what happens. Look at that. Oh my God, that's a toilet. I also craft, so my brain's sitting here going, you know what I could make with these? You know what I could make with these? One of my other aunts is an art teacher, and she does found art crafts with her students. That's really cool, but little tiny froggy rabbit. Another mug I found. This isn't one I'm gonna sell. Arizona. My mom collects cactuses, cactus, she collects spiky plants, and a lot of her family is in Arizona now. So yeah, I just thought that'd be a cute little mug, and it's her kitchen that she's got her cactuses into. So I'm like, perfect. All right, my mother-in-law to the rescue again. Another item that she picked up. I'm not sure how or why. But obviously green M&M. And when you do searching, by the way, it's M with the and sign. Is it an ampersand? M and M, not spelled out and, because I didn't find anything, and eBay thankfully automatically corrected it to the symbol, so I was able to find a few things. But I did see that these were selling for about $12, and even with the tag. Oh, and this was another thing that I had asked during the reseller podcast, which I love that I'm able to ask questions. When do you list this as new? So even though there's a hanging tag, it's very obviously damaged. It's been around for a minute. And, I mean, people hang on to plushies for, when do you do that? And again, it comes back to, unless you know for a fact that it's brand new because you bought it directly from the store, the manufacturer, put it as pre-owned in excellent condition, because you don't want to run into something where someone's like, I purchased this is so not new, because their definition of new may not be the same as mine. Like if this tag was pristine, um I would say it's new. If there's just one single corner bent but the rest is pristine, I still feel like that's new, but someone else might not. Just like when it comes to Funko Pops, the collectors are very, very particular about the boxes, which is why I won't, I don't want to deal with them, because, and they have a right to be, the amount of money that they're spending on what they're collecting, they want it a certain way. I just know that I'm not going to pay attention to that. And yeah, so that's why I don't deal with them. But yeah, so which does she have a name? The green M&M, other than green M&M. I don't know. But anyway, so she is selling for about $12 though. The Three Stooges on a mug with their golf clubs and a golf club bent. It's so funny. A bent golf club for the handle. And then on the inside it says turn your bogeys into boydies. And the bottom, let's see. Bottom says it was made in 2002, so it is over 20 years old. And this one in particular looks to be selling for right around $7. I picked this up, it was at a garage sale, so I think I just paid like a quarter or 50 cents for it. And so with me only putting a quarter or 50 cents into something, I'm definitely okay if I end up selling it for that $7 or $8. Star Wars. I was digging through the ties, as I mentioned earlier, I've been doing lately. And next to it were the belts. And this caught my eye, obviously. And then obviously, and the belt buckle is a seat belt buckle. The back shows it's called from a company called Buckle Down. I did find sold ones. Some of them had different patterns, and it looks like they did also do specifically the Darth Vader like utility belt. And they seem to be going for about $20. I picked this up from Goodwill and I paid $3.99 for it. Picked up this bag of miniatures for $2.22. I don't know if they're for D&D or if they're for Warhammer 40K, but these are little miniature figures that you can use for tabletop games. I'm assuming that you can use them for Warhammer or Dungeons and Dragons. However, I want to say it's more Warhammer just because um, you've got several of them, so you can make an army out of. In D&D, you have a party where there's only 5 or 6 people in the party, is from what I understand. And then Warhammer and other tabletop games like that, you actually have an army, so you would need multiples of, infantry, of cavalry, of whatever. But I know people use them for parts to make other more intricate figures. And so they do sell. They aren't new, obviously, they're pre-owned, but they will still sell because people use them for parts to make other things. I do have them listed, and some of them are plastic, but the people seem to be metal. So it's hard for me because I don't know exactly how to price these, because some of them are already painted, but they're also missing limbs. So I put them up mostly as unfinished, uh, an unfinished or to use for parts lot. And so yeah, but I was excited to find these for $2.22. I should be able to get a decent price, a price out of selling these in bulk together. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, you guys. Please disregard throughout the video all of the items behind me. As I said, I've recently moved and still trying to get things unpacked and organized well. I am hoping to get more on track and be able to get videos posted on a more regular basis now that I have a different setup. And the moving has slowed down. We still have a few items to get, but for the most part, we're in the new place. If you'd like to see the other items that I have in the shop, you can find me on eBay. The shop is called Thrift Wizard. I do have about 50 videos up on YouTube between shorts and the longer form videos. So please like, share, and subscribe. It just lets me know that I'm doing a good job and that the type of content I'm creating is something that that you'd like to see more of. Did you have a really cool find in the last couple of weeks? Share it with me. I like to celebrate with other people. So if there's something that you've come across that you've been looking for a long time, or something you found that surprised you as far as the value of it, just go ahead and take a picture, let me know. Or even if there's something a few years ago that you found that you're still really excited about and like to tell people, I'd love to hear about it. So go ahead and click those buttons, and we'll see you next time.